alleging?
Yes, and then the other one was he was trying to
tell me about the other incident that you're alleging.
Yes, sir. The other one was when I was in my house. I was trying to get a couple things done, and Mr. Witherby kept trying to knock on my door. I said I was busy. I didn't want to come out, and I had my door locked, and he kept trying to open the door, like he was trying to break into my house. If I say I don't want to go out somewhere, I'm not going to go out. You should have been decent enough to leave me alone.
Okay. And what were you feeling when that happened?
I got scared because I don't know if he was. To me, it felt like he was trying to break in. If I say no, that I don't want to go out, I'm not going to go out.
Okay.
He should have been kept trying to knock on my door and acting like he was trying to come in. All
right. Any other incidences that you're alleging or that have happened that you want the court to know about?
I've asked him numerous times about burning stuff in the hallway.
And he keeps Does it have to do with your safety?
Yes, because I have hypoxia and I have asthma.
Okay.
And he kept trying to tell me it was something else than what it was. And when I went to go to the doctor about it, my O2 stat was fairly low.
Okay.
And I don't smoke. I don't do any of that stuff.
Okay. And where's his apartment according to yours? Where do they
He's upstairs, but he comes down in the hallway.
He's upstairs. He comes down the hallway to burn things.
He's had it lit in the hallway on a mailbox.
Okay. Is it incense or?
We don't know what it is. He keeps telling us it's sage, but it makes me really sick. And I've asked him numerous times to quit burning it, and he will not listen to me.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to wind up back on a ventilator. I'm sorry.
And while we're here, why don't we just, actually, we'll come back to Mr. Wilt. Mr. Weatherby, I muted you. I'm going to ask you to unmute. I'm going to mute you, Miss Wilt, so we don't have any cross-talking. Mr. Weatherby, go ahead and tell the court about you can defend those allegations or tell me anything you have of yourself to speak of.
Okay. Well, allegation number one, on me being on how I was blocking her obstruction come out of her vehicle. That's not true. I was at her vehicle. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I was. I did have my hand on her car door. I was opening it up to let her out. I wasn't trying to hold her in. And I had mentioned it to her about her husband because her husband and I got numbers, and I apologized to her. I was like, look, I apologize for any kind of uncomfortableness. I mean, made you feel. I apologize, you know. And then someone else had come outside of the house, and I said, okay, I that's all I really wanted to say. I would say that's it, you know. I don't want no trouble, you know.
So are you denying that you knocked on her door or tried the door?
Oh, well, I'm talking about the first incident when she mentioned me going to her van, coming to her.
Okay. So how about the next incident?
The second incident was I was knocking on the door, and I had talked to her just a few moments before, and I started to come back down again, knock on the door again. It was more or less over praying with them. I would ask to pray with them and ask that to ask if they didn't mind if I prayed with them so I could help them, like try to pray for them so that things would get a little easier for them because they were having some tough times, just like everyone is, you know. When she said that she wasn't going to come to the door, I said okay. So then I did knock one more time. But it was their own, because I knew what other people were in the house that I could have spoken to. You know, it wasn't her. It wasn't her exactly. I was trying to speak to begin with, and I wasn't meaning any kind of harm or any kind of any kind of ill will on them. I didn't want any ill will. The original way that I met them, sir, was on a Sunday. I was on Thanksgiving. It was on Father's Day Sunday. I met them, and I was inside their home for a moment, and I noticed that their home, it was a little dirty, and so I just said, I said, look, I'll make a deal with you. I'm kind of feeling ungrateful for myself for Father's Day, me not being around by my kid. I said, let me clean your kitchen for you, sir, and I'll clean your kitchen for you, and top to bottom, I'll do a really good job on it. And all I'm asking for you to do in the meantime is to keep it clean. Just do the dishes. That's all you need to do. Because there's stuff going up in my house from through the vents upstairs through and the smell. That's the reason why I burn the incense, because the smell that goes out through the house outside their apartment. That's the reason why I burn incense, because it smells really, really bad. But they agreed, and I prayed with them before I started, and then I said, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to go up and get my cleaning supplies. I'll be right back. So then, as I'm going up to get my cleaning supplies, I'm started coming in and out, and the dogs were barking a lot, And so I mentioned to them, I said, do you mind if I just come in and out right this moment, because of the dogs barking all the time? I said that if I come in, the dogs will stop. The dogs won't bark as loud or as often as they would. So I continued on cleaning their house, or cleaning their kitchen. I cleaned their kitchen for them, and then I prayed with them afterwards, and we prayed together. And then I've talked to them on a couple of different occasions after that, and where I've prayed with them before. I mean, even yesterday at church, I put them on the prayer list. Even after all this happened, I put them on my prayer list because I want them to get through the struggles they're going through. I don't want any trouble with them. I pray for them because I don't want them to have any more trouble, And then all of a sudden I get arrested yesterday for this breaking of this PFA, and saying that I said F you. And I said no to her when she came out. I talked to one of my officer buddies that go to my church. He's a retired police officer, and he said that I said whenever I see them outside, I walk the other way, and I go out to the backyard, or I'll walk away, and he says, you don't have to do that, Tim. He says, you live in there, and you're in your own property, you're in your chair, you're living there, you're there. You don't have to do anything. You just, as long as you avoid them and you don't say anything to them, or you don't talk to them, or even make any kind of gestures towards them, then you can sit right where you're at and be okay. I said, okay, that's great, thank you. And that's what I did. That's what I was doing. And I mean, on Friday, just this Friday, sir. My electricity went out.
Hang on. We're not talking about. Those are past the dates. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to mute you, Mr. Weatherby. I'm going to go back to Miss Wilt. All right, Miss Wilt, I'm going to ask you to unmute. All right.
Yes,
anything else you want to tell the court on your side of this part of the PFS?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
he had permission to be here that one day, but that doesn't mean on another day you can keep trying to come in my house. If I say no, it's no.
Okay.
I have that legal right.
Why don't you hand the phone to Mr. Wilt?
Yes,
and
sir.
We'll go over his allegations.
And I apologize for yelling at you. I'm not trying to yell at you.
No, I don't take it as yelling.
Hello, sir.
All right, Mr. Wilt, tell the court why you're wanting the protection from stalking of Mr. Weatherby. Tell me the incidents that happened and the dates that they happened.
I'm not sure when the dates are, but there was a couple of times he was looking in our bedroom windows. And that is the reason why I put up a black blanket on one and a blue blanket on the other.
And he was looking in your window. Tell me about that.
He had his chair in front of the house, in front of our bedroom window. And
his chair for what? Does he go out and smoke, or what?
Yes, he goes outside and smoke. He has a fire pit out there now, but I don't know why. But he had it in front of our window, and this isn't the first time I've seen him look through our bedroom windows.
Okay, and tell me the incident that happened that you saw him looking through your window.
It
What
was
was
late at
happening?
night. It was
Huh?
late at night. We were getting ready to go to bed, and I happened to look over at the window, and he's just looking straight through.
Okay, that's one incident. What about another one?
And then another one is our roommate here just not too long ago. He was looking in their bedroom window,
But not yours.
not mine, and that
Okay.
was on the back side of the house.
Okay, and there's no real way to corroborate that because you don't have them called as a witness and you couldn't really testify as to what they told you.
Yes, this has just been recent.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be there. All right, all right. I'm going to mute you, Mr. Wilt. Mr. Weatherby, I'm going to ask you to unmute here.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Weatherby, tell the court about
The
anything
allegation of
you'd
the,
like to say about that.
yes, sir. For one, I'm legally blind. I can't see very far in front of me anyway. I wouldn't be looking in nobody's windows. My chair was facing when I had it at the porch, it's facing towards the street, not towards their window. So, and it's a bigger chair, so I can't really look behind me and see what's anything behind me. And I'm not really looking behind me because there's nothing behind me to look at. I was looking
How
in
far
the
can
front of
you
my,
see, Mr. Weatherby? How far can
sir.
you see? How far can you see?
I have double vision and purple vision, and my depth perception is really bad off, so I can't see very well at all. I
Okay.
can't see very well. Like I say, I can see like from me to you right here, close like this. I
Yeah.
can see, but it's still kind of blurry. But further than that, I can't see. That's why I can't drive. And I have a bicycle. I did have a bicycle, and then I rode my bicycle around town to get around. And when I went to jail that day, the first time I went to jail, my bicycle got stolen for the first time. I mean, I had it outside for a
Do you
reason.
wear glasses?
Normally I would wear glasses, but I sat down on them just a while back. I sat on them and they broke, so I haven't been able to wear them. So I need to go back again and get a new doctor's one for eyeglasses.
All right.
I collect disability for it.
All right, listen. Here's my ruling. I'm going to rule that the plaintiff and the defendant showed up. All right, as according to Paula Jo Wilt, I'm going to rule that the plaintiff filed a written petition requesting an order of protection, that the court has jurisdiction over the plaintiff and subject matter, the plaintiff, defendant, and subject matter, that the matter was heard and submitted to the court, which finds that the allegations of stalking, sexual assault, or human trafficking are proven by preponderance of the evidence as required by KSA 60-31A05, and that the defendant represents a credible threat to the physical safety of Miss Wilt. Okay, so I'm going to order that you not have any contact with Miss Wilt, Mr. Weatherby, for 1 year. All right. So that is from now until July 17th of 2024. All right, because this is 7/17th of 2023. As to the matter of Mr. Wilt, I'm going to rule that the plaintiff and the defendant were here, that it doesn't meet the requirement, Mr. Wilt, of issuing a final order. I mean, obviously, Miss Wilt lives with you, Mr. Weatherby. You can't have contact with Miss Wilt. I'm going to rule that you can have contact with Mr. Wilt unless there's some other action in some other criminal case. If there is some other action in some other criminal case where you have a no contact with Mr. Wilt, you can't have contact with him. Once that case is done, you can have reasonable contact, and if Mr. Wilt allows that, that's fine. But you can't have contact with him when he's with Miss Wilt. You can't tell him to tell Miss Wilt something, okay? Because you can't have contact with Miss Wilt for a year. You live together, you live in the same complex. It may be, it may not be a good situation to be that close. I'm not saying you should move, but if it keeps popping up, then it's something that you might consider. Is there anything else that the court needs to take up today? No contact with Miss Wilt. Mr. Wiltz is going to be dismissed. Miss Wilt, I have you on mute. Do you have something that you need to say? And don't tell me that Mr. Weatherby needs to do this or do that or do something else. If you have a question about the order, you can sure ask it. I just clicked on there, ask to unmute. So unmute and tell me what you need to say.
Yes, sir. My only other question I had is, what about like with the trying to break in and the entering?
I just told him he can't have contact with you, Miss Wilt. That is some sort of a criminal matter. If the county attorney's office wants to deal with that, they sure can. But the court doesn't bring charges on anybody. If they see fit that there's possibility of enough charges for that, they'll file. If they don't, they won't. So that's all we have today. I'm going to close.